What is up, guys? I'm KSCG, and welcome to my reaction to PhantomStrider's top 10 rarest LEGO minifigures. So let's get started.
Howdy. It's great to see you, and it's great to be back in Australia. Hey, boo. Yeah, but it is the middle of summer right now. So pardon the costume change. Why didn't I wear this 6 years ago? Anyway, let's talk LEGO minifigures.
Yeah.
Did you know there are LEGO minifigures out there even more rare than Mr. Gold? Say 100 times more valuable? Even 1,000 times more valuable? Don't get me wrong, Mr. Gold's definitely a rare minifigure, but he is just the tip of the iceberg when it comes to valuable minifigures. Let's talk about the other minifigures out there that are astonishingly valuable. Some of these minifigures may be so hard to find, they might not even be on this planet anymore. So let's check out the 10 rarest LEGO minifigures. And just a note, I've tried to find a balance between Star Wars minifigures and other minifigures, because a lot of this video could easily comprise of just silver and gold C-3POs and R2-D2s. Anyway, let's begin. Let's start with a quick honorable mention for number 11. LEGO Chrome Black Darth Revan.
Ooh,
Darth
200 to 500.
I know the prices aren't that high, but I just had to mention these because look how cool these two look, and they are still pretty rare. And I'm so glad to see Revan being canon, at least in the LEGO universe, because he's one of the most fascinating Sith to ever exist.
This will be the end of you.
Oh!
These Revan and Vader Chrome Blacks used to come in poly bags, and they'll go for at least $200 to $300. And as we can see on Brick Economy, they're continuing to increase in value. Though again, just an honorable mention, because many collectors I know happen to already own these, such as Jang Bricks, Just Too Good, and Brick Vault. But they're still relatively rare, and beautiful minifigures, works of art. Anyway, on to the real top 10. Did you put on sunscreen, dude? Number 10. LEGO Zombie. Some people will go to manager conferences and all they'll get is free coffee. But apparently at LEGO manager conferences, they pass out exclusive minifigures. I mean, maybe they have coffee too.
Alright.
But, you know, LEGO's a nice bonus. Apparently,
Maybe I should start working for
was
LEGO.
given this by their manager, who went to a 2015 LEGO manager conference. All the pieces in this sorry fellow are apparently real official LEGO pieces. What puzzles me though is the managers would get this zombie minifigure, while the employees would be passed out this non-zombified minifigure, who looks considerably more suitable to invite to the evening cocktail party. Looking at his apron, I'm guessing he's meant to represent the brick molding LEGO employee. Just the non-zombified version alone can go for 700 big ones, while the manager's zombified version can go for $1,800.
Yikes.
And just to show that glass ceiling can be broken when it comes to being a zombie, they have a female version of the zombie too. So now I guess you can gruesomely maul and ravage the brains of your co-workers, regardless of your gender. Good to know. Moving on. Number 9. Spider-Woman and Spider-Man. The LEGO Comic-Con's exclusive superhero minifigures gave us some of the most rare and expensive minifigures currently in circulation. Probably because these minifigures were given out exclusively at these Comic-Cons. Brick Vault has actually collected the vast majority of them, so we can see them all here in great condition. Although these Comic-Cons ran for years,
nice.
2013 is known to be the most expensive year, possibly because no one is completely sure just how many exclusive 2013 minifigures there are. But experts like Brick Vault estimate 300 at most.
Wow.
But Spider-Man and Spider-Woman, they're probably the most rare and exclusive of them all. Spider-Woman in particular has never been remade as a minifigure since. So if you do want a 1976 style Spider-Woman minifigure, well, unfortunately the LEGO market demands big bucks for it. Fortunately, there are plenty of Spider-Man minifigures out there, and there's definitely some considerably cheaper versions than this one. Now, while estimates for these two range around $1,800 to $2,000, it's worth mentioning that the only Spider-Woman I could find was going for 41,000 Hong Kong dollars, which is the equivalent to around 5,000 US dollars. So these minifigures are very rare and very expensive. Oh, look, it's a feral deer. It's beautiful. You ever tried venison? Kate and Kyle, the astronaut minifigures. According to NASA and
2021.
Lego, these astronaut minifigures will be taking a trip round the moon in NASA's Artemis 1 lunar mission, planned for launch in 2022. The story is, NASA teamed with LEGO Education to bring forth a 10-week interactive digital learning adventure. In this program, students are put in the shoes of astronauts and have to use problem-solving skills to finish the program. This is also known as the Build to Launch program. It is, as Kyle says,
I think you can tell we're very excited to spend the next 10 weeks training and learning about space exploration and everything it takes to pull off a safe and successful mission.
These minifigures haven't been released to the public, and when they get back from their journey, they're going to be really valuable because, you know, they've been to the moon. As far as I know, they'll be the only LEGO that have ever been on the moon in history. But what really makes this launch historical is it's going to have the first woman and the first person of color on the moon ever. How great is that?
Absolutely.
Took long enough, but I'm glad we got there eventually. And as of this video, it's looking like Kate and Kyle are available exclusively in these videos. But there is some speculation by the website Brick Fanatics that they might be made available to the public in the future. You know, after the launch. But
Okay.
as of this video, there seem to be only one Kate and Kyle in the world. And soon there will be none in the world, because, you know, they'll be on the moon. So if you see that beautiful, majestic rocket flame shoot into the sky, breaking through the Earth's atmosphere and stepping humanity into the unfathomable vacuum of space and eternity, you might find yourself saying, "Ooh, there's Lego on there." Number. Oh, what's that about Facebook? The Lego Silver Skeleton Keychain.
Ooh,
This skeleton
interesting.
is made purely of sterling silver, which basically just means it's got a little copper in it with the silver. Only about 50 of these were ever made, exclusively between Germany and Austria. Lego specifically had them crafted for a small pocket of jewelry stores in these countries. And
Okay.
the design for this one is just so intricate. What I particularly like about it, though, is it also feels a little bit eerie and spooky. I believe
Yeah.
this figure is based off the original skeleton from the 90s. And seeing this skeleton resurrected in this rustic, strange silver gives it such a disquieting presence. Skelly here was one of 3 different designs produced for these jewelry stores, the other being a silver brick and your standard Lego worker minifigure. As for the rarity and value of this one, well, honestly, this one is so rarely talked about that I found it hard enough to find information on it at all. And the 50 that do exist are so rarely sold that I couldn't even find listings for them on Brick Economy, which makes it hard to estimate the cost. But if I were to estimate based on a $2,000 Lego Spiderman minifigure, there's 300 of these Lego Spiderman, so the skeleton minifigures are 6 times as rare. We can also take into account that they're made of sterling silver and almost never sold. Based on this, my very rough estimate is Skelly would go for around $11,000 to $12,000. Though feel
Seems
free to
like a
correct me on
reasonable
this
price.
If you think I estimate wrong. Either way, this figure is so ridiculously rare that it's nigh on impossible to find. Good running, Boo. Number 6, the George Lucas minifigure. I said I
That
was excluding
exists?
some Star Wars minifigures. I didn't say I was excluding the director of Star Wars. Anyway, as you've no doubt guessed, Georgie here is based on the real-life director of Star Wars. And I feel
I
like his
never-
facial
I thought
expression
he-
does capture
I
his
thought he was
wide
only
persona
exclusive to,
well.
like,
That's
the,
just the kind of dry
like,
expression
Lego
I'd expect from him when he was
Star
selling
Wars
Star
films.
Wars to Disney. Details of this one
Not in,
can
like,
be shady,
physical
and it's hard
form.
enough to find record of when Lego produced these. But the figure first appeared in the
And
Lego
that
movie
too.
Raiders of the Lost Brick way back in 2008. And
That
later
was
in
fun.
2009, the Lego Star Wars Dictionary. Although I have records of this selling for $2,500, some people have reported it selling at an auction for over $5,000. Maybe it was bought by George himself, who knows? Either way, these auctions over Lego pieces definitely leave me mulling over how much good $2,500 to $5,000 could do for a charity. Anyway, this figure is shrouded in mystery. I couldn't even find any concrete answer to how many were made, but based on its selling price, I would estimate around $150 to $200. Apparently, the most exclusive part of Georgie is that disillusioned face of him. While I may be able to put the body together with other parts, the printing of the face itself is exclusive to George Lucas. But before we move on, I'd like to quote Bandit778 from Brickset.com on his funny little comment on this minifigure. I heard there were 6 versions of this head. The first was a groundbreaking print for the time it was made. The second was better, but the print was a lot darker. The third was a good print, but ultimately deemed too cute. The fourth had nice graphics, but was also annoying to look at. The fifth was ultimately forgettable. The sixth was a good enough print, but it was ruined by a sound chip that shouted out, "No!" Then I heard the original prints were sold for extreme amounts of money to a firm that were good with the idea of redoing the first 3 and and for number 5,
Oh, that was a nice.
the Will.i.am minifigure. Apparently, the Black Eyed Peas rapper Will.i.am has a minifigure. And only 400 of them were ever made. You see, Los Angeles had an awards ceremony.
Oh, I think I know this
both
music.
Lego and Will.i.am's contributions to LA schools. And the 400 minifigures were given away at this ceremony. They wanted to thank Will, as his I Am Angel Foundation had been helping kids in public schools, specifically in introducing kids to Lego robotics. Good on him for helping teach kids new skills. In researching, I was only able to find record of 2 of these minifigures. One was an auction that had record of selling one at 2016, and the other one belongs to the Lego Collector Minifig Price Guide. And kudos to him for showing us some footage.
This is actually one of the rarest minifigures I have in my collection. Like I said, there's only 400 of these.
I'll link his channel in the description if you're curious. Will.i.am comes with his handy dandy black hat, as well as a microphone and this lovely base plate for him to stand on. And that's it. I couldn't find any other record of this minifigure ever being sold online. But few of the 400 owners seem to be willing to part with this very rare and valuable minifigure. And now, hold on to your socks, because we're stepping into the zone where these minifigures get really rare and really expensive.
Nice use of Harry Potter.
Solid silver C-3PO minifigure and 14 karat gold Boba Fett. Okay, let's clump these together because they're both worth a similar amount, which is a small fortune. And as I said, the Star Wars minifigures bloat the rarest market. To start with, the 14 karat gold Boba Fett is easily one of the rarest, with only 2 existing, and they were given away at the 2010 San Diego Comic-Con. And now they're worth 36 grand. Go figure. What is it with Lego Star Wars and jaw-droppingly high amounts of cash?
Take my money.
Each of these existing Boba Fett sets contains a gold one and a sterling silver one. Now obviously, these 2 Boba Fett sets are so ridiculously rare that you wouldn't think I could find any trace of them. But after much searching, I actually found the 2 owners. One is a
really?
shop owner named Daniel, who showed it framed up on Instagram. And who, you ask, owns the other gold one? No, not Brick Vault. No, not Brick Saab. No, not Just Too Good. But Wolf Productions.
How do you even get any of this packing stuff?
I'd like to remind you that only 2 of these exist, and a small child owns one. I don't know where he got it, but it is honestly hilarious and awesome that one of the rarest minifigures in the world is owned by this young fella. Well,
wow.
at least his college fund is covered. Well, maybe half his college fund. I should also mention the gold-plated C-3PO, which is valued at $26,125. But the silver one is most valuable at $34,485. Why, you ask, is a silver more valuable? Because there was only one sterling silver C-3PO ever made, while the gold had 10,000 made. These 10,000 gold C-3POs were put in random Star Wars box sets around the world. And what makes this most frustrating for collectors is there's no sign of whether a mint-condition Star Wars box contains a gold-plated C-3PO. So a collector might have bought a mint-condition Star Wars Lego set from 2007 and still have a $26,125 C-3PO sitting inside it. I mean, a mathematician will probably tell you it's more likely I get struck by lightning or that I die of tap water poisoning this year, but technically it's possible.
I'm noticing that, like, I think PhantomStrider's
solid white gold R2-D2.
So I think I'm noticing, like, with some of PhantomStrider's recent videos is that he, well, I mean, I haven't watched many of his videos in a long time or in a while, but I'm noticing that he's heavily putting in effort into like green screen effects. And I think recently he's been trying to give his like side character, I don't know if I would say side character or sidekick, but the character Boo, like more personality and some dialogue or like some small animations, which is pretty nice. Okay, let's back to the reaction.
There's not 300 of these R2-D2s. There's not even 50. There's not even 2. There's 1. LEGO even issued it with a certificate of authenticity. Even Boba Fett had at least 2 copies. With only 1 released to the public, this is about as exclusive as it gets. How did anyone hope to get their hands on this solid white gold figure? Well, it was the grand prize to a single winner of the CS Millennium Black VIP card giveaway, and Broke for Bricks won it. Fortunately, he was even kind enough to unbox it on his channel. And yeah, as you'd expect, it's a thing of absolute beauty sent in mint condition casing. Though I've got to say, I love how incredibly calm and blasé Broke is about receiving this $39,000 prize. In fact, he even forgot that he entered the contest,
which honestly I'd forgotten about.
He looks to be a very experienced collector though. Maybe he didn't realize the value till off camera. Then he was like... After he did this, I'm hoping his channel namesake Broke no longer applied, because soon after, Broke sold the minifigure to start a great non-profit organization. Good on you, Broke for Bricks. I hope it goes great for you. I don't know the exact details, but apparently it was sold to the Instagram channel Rarest LEGO Minifigures, and it looks like he's also taking very good care of it. And unlike, say, the bronze C-3PO, this isn't just valuable for being exclusive. This figure is made of solid white gold, the kind you'd find in jewelry. White gold R2-D2 is one of the rarest and most expensive minifigures to ever exist. It's beautiful, isn't it? Sun's going down, Boo. We better go. The wooden Woo minifigure.
A
$104,000.
wooden
Really?
minifigure?
Do you remember Sensei Wu from the Lego Ninjago movie? Well, to be fair, you probably don't remember it, because most people didn't go to see the Lego Ninjago movie. It was a box office flop. In fact, it was the
I
biggest
saw it and it
flop for
wasn't
Lego
that
movies.
great.
But despite this, I certainly remember Jackie Chan playing the role of Wu. Because, well, it's Jackie Chan. He's awesome.
Why does it matter how we beat Garmadon as long as we beat him?
Because, nephew, right now, your hands are the wrong hands.
And as I said, although none have come up for auction, the projected value is at least $100,000. There's a few reasons to why these minifigures are so ridiculously valuable. For starters, obviously they're pretty exclusive, with only 4 of them ever made. Secondly, these were props used by Jackie Chan in the Lego Ninjago movie. And if you ever tell other collectors, Jackie Chan played with my Lego? Well, that's a pretty impressive bragging right. And obviously, the figures were also used by the LEGO group for the movie. So there's already a ton of fame behind these minifigures. To be able to say your LEGO minifigures have been seen in an internationally released movie, well,
I forgot about that part.
And of course, this figure was intricately carved out of wood. As Spitbricks also pointed out, it would have taken a lot of time and an extreme amount of attention to detail to carve these. In fact, you can actually see the individual chisel marks on each figure. So because of this, each wooden Woo minifigure is a 100% one-of-kind work of art. Unlike almost any other LEGO minifigure, no molding machine churned this out. Human hands crafted each one.
Yeah.
When I say all these reasons out loud, well, I can much better understand why these figures are so ridiculously valuable. And I think the other thing that adds yet more value to these is they were never released to the public. As of this video, I can only find trace of one person who actually owns one of these. And that's the senior creative director of LEGO, Simon Lucas. And he was also executive producer of the Lego Ninjago movie. So I guess he kept the Woo minifigure as a keepsake. And to be fair, after the crushing news that his movie bombed, well, I think that's the least he could do for himself. I hope he also got himself a nice Biden chocolate ice cream, similar way to how I console myself over my own lost battles. And now for a few quick honorable mentions. The orange prototype ghost. I realize this guy isn't quite as high priced as some of these others, but have you honestly ever seen a minifigure quite like this? It looks so unexpectedly bizarre to me. Yellow here was the original prototype for the 1990 Lego skeleton design. Now you may be thinking yourself, we just talked about a $100,000 Lego minifigure. Why does this apply as an honorable mention? And well, that's a very good question. And the answer is, I think it's neat. And next, of course, we can't forget Mr. Gold. Back in the day, there was 5,000 of these randomly placed in minifigure mystery bags. Mr. Gold is heavily sought after by LEGO collectors even to this day. But I left him off the list purely because I talked about him before in controversial LEGO sets. And over the years, I think a lot of other LEGO reviewers have discussed him way better than I ever could. Way back in 2013, I even discovered my friend Just Too Good was lucky enough to find one of these. So if you'd like to enjoy his very, very genuine excitement of unboxing it, his hands are literally shaking, well, I linked his video in the description.
Oh my gosh, here he is, Mr. Gold! Oh my gosh!
Anyway, on to number 1. Oh, nothing like a good walk. And no contest, the number 1 rarest LEGO minifigure is the Roman gods LEGO Jupiter, Juno, and Galileo. The aluminium
2011.
figures sent to Jupiter. Valued at, get ready for this, $2.09 billion and 95 cents. This is without a doubt the rarest and definitely the most valuable LEGO
Billions
minifigure
of
that
dollars
will ever exist. These 3 LEGO minifigures represent the Roman god Jupiter, his wife Juno, and of course Galileo. He's a famous Italian astronomer who many refer to as the father of science. But more on that awesome figure later. These 3 tiny stowaways were on board the 2011 Jupiter flight on the Juno spacecraft. Once you pull your jaw off the ground, one of the first things you may notice about these minifigures is they look a bit, well, pale. This is because these minifigures have been cast in a special space-grade aluminium. This is in order for them to be able to survive the incredibly dangerous, radioactive, and gaseous wonder that is Jupiter. In fact, these 3 orbited
they were
Jupiter
sent
for
to
an
Jupiter.
entire year. Why did the 3 board this space flight? Well, it was all part of the Bricks in Space program between NASA and LEGO. The purpose of this program was to encourage people's interest in science, technology, and engineering. But why specifically were Jupiter, Juno, and Galileo chosen for the flight, rather than sending, I don't know, a pirate into space? But to be fair, that would be pretty cool. These 3 are meant to represent humanity's relationship with the gas planet Jupiter. The minifigure Jupiter is the Roman god of sky and thunder, and the thunder of Jupiter was a mystery to scientists for 35 years. So perhaps he's meant to represent humanity's battle to understand Jupiter's secrets. Juno, Jupiter's wife, carries a magnifying glass. This was meant to represent her search for the truth. As I mentioned, Galileo is known by many as the father of science, and understandably so. This guy pioneered the original scientific method, which has been our way of better understanding medicine, biology, psychology, humanity, just about everything in the universe since. I don't think we'd have discovered penicillin or the polio vaccine without it. And as I mentioned, these 3 minifigures are pretty much designed just like any other minifigure, except they're cast in a special space-grade aluminium to, you know, survive the horrifying irradiating vacuum of space. In 2016, these 3 were valued at $2.02 billion. But as of 2021, their value has since risen to $2.09 billion and 95 cents. Can't forget that 95 cents. You could say their value is out of this world. Thanks, Boo. Anyway, you might be asking yourself, why is this set worth such a stupidly large amount that even Jeff Bezos would be cringing? Well, you'd have to have an the Earth's atmosphere to even have a chance of reaching them. So, you know, good luck with that. Even if these maybe are on Earth, you'd have to break into a military-grade NASA headquarters to find them. But dang, I wish I had more footage of these apart from the complimentary NASA pictures. If you or I ever find more rare and valuable LEGO minifigures than this, well, I'll be very surprised, and I'll be eagerly checking your references. These aren't just the rarest LEGO minifigures in the world, they're the rarest LEGO minifigures in the universe. Because they're probably not on this world. And with that, thank you for joining me and Boo on this journey through LEGO's rarest minifigures. Though I realize I still missed a whole lot of LEGO minifigures. So feel free to mention any rare or valuable minifigures you think I missed in the comments below. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.
Goodbye.
Aww. Always knows how to make great content. Okay, that was my reaction to PhantomStrider's rarest Lego minifigures. As a longtime Lego fan myself, and still am in terms of collecting pieces or minifigures. Yeah, this was a fun watch. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to leave a like and comment below on what you thought of my reaction. Also subscribe so that you don't miss out on any future reactions of mine. But until next time, I'm KSCG. Wash your hands and have a good day.